I'm going to do a poem in honour of Devon. It's about Devon. My grandmother used to run a dairy farm in Devon in the 70s. My grandmother's the type of woman who tests dog food before giving it to dogs. So that gives you a kind of sense of her personality. And it's called When Grandma Wrestled with a Cow in Lidford Gorge in 1976. Yeah. Grandma saw the cow flailing and jumped into the gorge, grabbed the damp of a furred belly and pulled relentlessly, gripped the curve of the hind legs, round head baying, groaning gestation of the cow from the water, who fell like a kid from the cliff, from the sky, great lump falling down through the rock and green. She kept its head above the water, beast in the cauldron of the devil, it writhing, knees knocking from the cold of it. But she stood firm from fear of her husband's loss, that woman with her bovine angel, resolute that it should live, wrapped in the sunlight. It died there, the Jersey, horns lolling, thick tongue lapping, rising sullen when hooked out by the men from the village, with ropes and calloused hands, as if unruly baptized, bow-boned, now bric-a-brac of the gorge. They were in the water together for 6 hours. That's a kind of love, surely, held together in each other's embrace. A few years later, a squaddy fell in after a few pints at the pub. The gorge didn't have planking on the sides, and it was swarming to take him. My grandmother got pleurisy, and her lungs never healed. Thank you. It's so nice when you clap, because when I'm on the bus home and I'm feeling a bit low, I'll just think of all the claps. And I'll play them back in my head and I think, oh, I'm a star. The next one is about some old friends of mine. It's called A Breast. Mine have never been the platonic ideal of breasts, turned awry and dappled like a cow's nose or a pair of lonesome spaniel's ears. At their best, they are great and flappy, easily strapped down into a brassiere or leather if I'm feeling the lure. At their worst, they hang like deflated Christmas baubles, one at a second-rate fair, sluggish and ponderous, longing to reach my knees. Nevertheless, they are my old familiars, and I am very fond of them. As a teen, I used to cage them in a stricture more pad than tit, and I cooped them up in clasps and cotton and wires, and they begged to be set free. Set free? Set free. Well, so in February I had a mole, and the doctor cut it off because the discoloration was hinting. The underside from the cut is reddish and puffy when I am overhot or embarrassed. Together we felt every tear and every stitch. You looked so strange floating in the doctor's jar of yellow oil. My breast still misses you. These days I sleep flat on my back, and I don't like to compromise. Thank you.